Welcome all to the Weekly Outlook. Boone here from EWPRO. So I'm just going to let you know that I'm just going to do the dailies at the start of the month to keep these videos a little bit shorter. So during the month, I'll just be doing from H4 down. So starting with the DXY on the H4, we're looking at that WXY, X2, and the Z up. These are your targets here for the wave Z. Like I mentioned last week, we're getting this bullish hidden divergence here. So any sort of buy setup you get, you can look for that buy. This may turn a little bit more complex, like we may get like an A, a B in here, and a C up, and then we get an A, B, C to finish off this X2. Because you know, this is a lot larger correction than this, so it may come a little bit more complex, but we are looking for that Z up on the H1. You can only buy this, you know, you wait for a correction in here and look for that buy. And like I said, it may just become an A, B, C in here, and then we get an A, B, C, finishing off this wave X before we go up for the wave Z on the H4. But definitely, if we get a correction in here, look for the buy. You know. AU on the H4. So this is very similar. You know, I was looking for a correction a similar size down here. Now this one here is a lot smaller. So I'm looking for like a WXY. I was looking for an X2 and a Z down. This may be internal. For some sort of an A, B, some sort of an A, B, C up in here. And then we get that like Z down. So we are getting that bullish divergence. We have broken the low. So looking at the H1, well, we're looking at this as the correction. And really, you know, there was a little sell in here. If you took that, you know, you'd want to be thinking of getting it to break even, because we have broken this low. We are getting that bullish divergence. So you'll have to be a little bit careful. The only way you can buy now is, you know, draw a trend line in through here and get a break up above this top here and a bullish setup for the buy. Other than that, you know, you can look for, it's very risky to be selling down at these lows. But if you get flags, you could just scalp, but you're only scalping the sells. EU on the H4. So we're looking at this like WXY, A, B, C, as this is a complex correction, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and the impulse up. And then we've got this like a WXY. We have a bear hidden in here. And like I mentioned last week, you can really only buy above this top because we have that possible bear hidden. So this may come down and break that low, or it may just give a deep correction, you know, down to the 90 fib. On the H1, so we're looking for sells because of that bear hidden. There was a little sell set up in here. We broke this low here, so now we have a lower low. So, you know, any sort of correction you get, look for the sell. even if it's just like an ABC, like an ABC in here, and we only get a deep correction down to the 90 pip and don't break that low for the bearish hidden, you still, if we get any sort of correction, look for the sell. Well, I'll be looking for the sell. GU on the H4. Nothing's really changed. You know, we got that WXY X2 and we got that Z down. We lost all that bullish divergence, like I've mentioned many times, and we had that bearish hidden, sorry. So we can really only buy above that top on the H4. On the H1, we still may get another one up. Like I mentioned last week, we were looking for a WXY X2 and the Z up. We do have a bullish hidden here on the H1. So I'm more interested, even though we have that bearish hidden on the H4, I'm still looking for this this wave Z up here. So if we get any sort of a break above this top and a bullish setup, then you could look for that wave Z up. For the sell, we can really only sell this one because the H4, we can't trade that H4 bear hidden at this stage. I'm not going to go into that, but yeah, so we can only sell under this low here, which is, yeah, for the sell, you know, we'd have to get a large impulse down in here and then a correction for the sell to go and break the low for the bear hidden at this stage. So like I said, I'm more interested in break above that top, a bullish setup in here and look for that Z up. You'd be targeting that 123.6 and the 161.8. NU on the daily, sorry, on the H4. So this one, we're looking at that WXY X2 and we're looking for that Z down. These are your targets here, the 123.6 and the 161.8. These corrections are of a similar size, so this one's fine. So any sort of sell setup you get on the H1, you know, if you get some sort of a correction in here, you know, definitely look for that sell. UI on the H4, this is a little bit tricky because we can only sell this, like I've been saying for the last 3-4 weeks, we can only sell this. We had that Z up, and we got that impulse up, but this is looking corrective. So I'm sort of looking at this as a like an A, B, C in here, and then we get an A, B, C as a running or expanding flat. But like I said, on the H1, we can only sell this because we've got that lower low. We got that lower low. So we can really only sell this. I was hoping it would go from here. You know, I took that and it come out and took me out at break even. So I'm sort of looking at it as an A, B, and we'll get a C up in here, like I showed, as a running or expanding flat. I wouldn't really be buying this. You know, we're at highs. I'm more interested in wherever this wave here ends, to get that bearish setup for that C down. I'm more interested in that trade than looking for the buy. USD Sheppy on the H4. Oh. sure where all these come from, but very messy. Yeah. So we're looking for nothing's changed. We're looking for that like A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. Now this may not be over, and then we're looking for that A, B, C to finish off the X2 on the daily. So we'll have to go in here, see what we're getting. So we can still get that wave Z up. Well, we're getting that wave Z up. This would have been your buy setup in here for that 123.6 and the 161.8. If you do get a little correction in here, little flag or something, you could look for it just for a scalp, basically, because on the H4 we are looking for that next one down. So the buys at this stage really are only a scalp. We got that W, X, Y, X2 and looking for that Z up last week. UCAD on the H4. So we've got this. Now, there's two different ways. I'm starting to think that this here is internal and we've got a WXY. Looking for the X2 and a Z up. Now, that's more than likely the scenario when we filter out this. But like I've been mentioning, I was looking for a WXY, X2 and the Z up. Just looking for a correction in here because we lost all that bearish divergence. So either way, we're still looking for that correction and the buy. We got an expanding flat in here. You're getting a little flag in here. You could definitely look to buy this. So if you do get a bullish setup in here, an entry, yeah, look for that buy. Definitely want to be at break even at the break of the top. UY on the H4, very similar to GU on the H1, but on the H4 we've got like I've mentioned, we've got this bearish hidden here. It's not valid to trade yet, but this I believe we'll get another one up here and then we can go down and break that low. If we go down onto the H1, you can see what I'm looking at. Nothing's changed since last week. We're looking for this like W, X, Y, X2 and then a Z up. So if we get wherever this wave in here ends, break above that top there and a bullish setup, and we can look for that wave Z up. And we do have that bullish hidden on the H1, just like we do on the GU. So very similar setups. EG on the H4, we lost all that bearish divergence in the wave Z up. Now, I've been saying that we can't really sell until this low has been broken. It's been broken now because we had that possible bull hidden, you know, so it could have went up and broke that top. But now it's taken out that bull hidden. So we can look for sells now. You can see what I'm looking at here. We got that like WXY. Looking for the X2 and we're getting this Z down. And these would be your targets, the first and the second target, 123.6 and the 161.8. So any sort of sell setup you get, you could definitely look for the sell and target these fib levels. You'd want to be at break even at the break of that low. Gold on the H4. This is quite tricky. Not sure why I'm getting all these lines here. Not sure where all they come from. Anyway, so we got those like 5 down in here. We lost all that bullish divergence. So I was just looking for a correction. And we had a bear hidden in here, and we did go and break that low. But looking at the structure, like I've been mentioning for many weeks now, I'm looking at an A, B, C, and then an A, B, C for more downside. On the H1, you can only buy this. We're getting a correction now. Look, we got a higher high here, so you can only buy this. Wait for this correction to be over. Wait for your bullish setup, and look for that buy. Silver on the H4 is quite tricky, because there's so many different structures we can look at on here. I'm sort of starting of the opinion that we get a possible. This can be either an A, B, C, and this is finished. I'm not really looking at it that way. I'm looking at it more as like a W, X, Y. We get an X2 and a Z up. Now, this may be a leading diagonal as well, because we did have that low, but I'm not really looking at this as the low yet. So if we get this like Z up in here, then we could look for like this as like an A, B, C. Sorry, an A, B, C, and then we get an A, B, C before we get another 5 down. That's sort of the way I'm looking at it. If we have a look on the H1, we've got this large correction. Sort of really need to wait for a correction of similar size to this over here on the H4. So we get that like W, X, Y, X2, and the Z up. Yeah, that's so it may be sitting on the sideline for quite some time on this. Looking on WTI on the H4, you can only buy this. We got that high. Yeah, wait for a correction and then look for that buy. Really like to see a correction before you buy, because I mean, on the H1 we don't have any bearish divergence, so you can look for flags, but yeah, the safest option, if you're looking for flags to buy, that's fine. They're just scalps. But if you wait for the larger correction, wait for a H1 correction, and then your buy setup, you could, may turn into like a WXY, and go and break the top. Bitcoin on the H4. This hasn't changed since last week, obviously, but this is looking very corrective. Like I said last week, this here is looking very corrective. So I'm looking for an A, B, C, and then we get an A, B, C before we get the larger A, B, C. So if you do get a sell set up, you can look for the sell. Definitely want to be a break even at the break of that low, because it may just be a C down and then we get the larger C up to finish off this B wave. SPX on the H4. So we got this move down. We can really only sell this. I was looking for a larger correction, you know, some sort of a larger correction before we go down, but it's falling down already. We don't have any bearish hidden or anything really. On the H1, I was saying we could only buy it on the H1 because we got that higher high. But I was sort of looking for just a correction in here and then more upside. I am still looking at that, but this is starting to get very deep. So whatever's happening in here, more than likely, is just going to be an A, B, C as a regular flat, and then more downside. It's quite tricky at this stage because we got such a deep pullback. It's going to be hard to trade that C up. You really need a nice setup before you can look for that buy. AU200. So we have a bear hidden here. This is looking rather bullish up here, so we may get another one up here. And then you look for that sell. The only way you can really buy this is above that top. If we go up and break above that top, well, then you could look for your correction and the buy setup. But until that happens, we're really only looking for sells. I mean, you can scalp this buy here, but on the H1 you could scalp it. But are we getting bull hidden here? We may be even getting bull hidden here. Yeah, I believe we are getting a bullish hidden divergence in here. So we would be looking for a buy setup in here. You'd really want a nice buy setup, because when we looked at S&P, you know, we had a really deep correction. So this still can come down in the Asian session on Monday. So you really have to watch what's going on before you take, you know, you really want a nice buy setup before you take it. Because there is that possible bear hidden and it can fall over, you know, that bear hidden on the H4. So looking at the DAX on the H4, if we just go to the daily, you can see what I'm looking at a bit clearer. We're looking at that A, B, C. So I am looking for upside up to that 100 fib. We do have bullish divergence here, I believe. So on the H1, again, we'll be looking for a buy. This is starting to come deep. So you really need to wait for a nice buy setup before you try and attempt to buy this. We are getting a bullish hidden here. So you can go down onto the lower time frames. If you want to learn how to trade these hidden divergences and that, you really need to join the course, because they're very important. It's very powerful stuff. UK, the FTSE on the H4. This is looking bullish in here, but it's looking bearish on the H1. So you can really only buy this. We got a higher high here. This is looking a bit bearish here, so you may get another one down here. You'd have to go down to the lower time frames. and draw a trend line in here when this breaks down here, and then look for your buy setup. Wait for this buy setup, and then you can look for the buy. So I hope you enjoyed the weekly outlook. If you did, please hit the like button, share, subscribe. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.